Seem to be good to go, so let's see. Alright guys, jokes aside, this is the final week of the regular season of the UVA LCS. We have the old versus the new. NLG, No Life Gamers, one of the newest teams in the UVA LCS, taking on one of the most established Who Cares. Who Cares need to win this game and the game tomorrow if they want to guarantee them a spot in the playoffs. Meanwhile, No Life Gamers, if they beat Who Cares here, and Who Cares loses their second game, they are into the playoffs. No Life Gamers is, and Who Cares is actually out. So a lot of crazy bracket implications in this game, and it's absolutely going to be a delight. We immediately see a Zir ban coming out of No Life Gamers. I don't think we've seen Taiyi play that the entire season, so good scouting there. And actually, respect to the Cinder of Shockwave coming out of Who Cares. Shockwave is the captain of the No Life Gamers, so most teams have focused him quite a bit. We'll see the second ban is actually Shawnee Boy's Fiora, another excellent ban, since Shawnee Boy does love playing carry top laners, and there is no carry top laner like Fiora. Interesting to see that Botox and Droidjukin, as always, are going to be the first and second pick. So they like getting their bot lane early and then giving Shockwave and Shawnee Boy some time to lock those solo lanes in a little bit later in picks and bans. It keeps them a little bit unpredictable. And the Lee Sin ban against Lot, and that might, I don't know, that's not a bad ban in any sense, but Lee Sin is alright, and honestly, the new jungle might not be that good for Lee Sin. Okay, so we see Rengar ban as well. That's a very good specific ban, though. And Warwick ban as well, of course, coming out of Who Cares. It is just such a strong jungle. You can't let anyone play it. Woolly Mammoth looking to lock in Leona for himself. Droidjukin and Botox generally play some form of hyper carry in Janna, and I'm sure Who Cares knows that by now, so they might just be trying to get the engage on and shut that team down. Will it be the Leona lock-in? I think it's a pretty good pick, especially if Who Cares wants to dictate the pace of the game. It is the lock-in, so there's a lot of CC coming out of there. And Leona definitely no slouch in lane either. If Botox does decide to go Janna and Droidjukin plays a hyper carry or even something such as Corki, and there's going to be a lot of poke. Of course, we've seen Droidjukin's Lucian as well. There we go. Janna Lucian. It's probably just going to be locked in. And that makes it hard for the engage out of Who Cares. I mean, Janna's disengage is actually built very nicely to counter Leona, simply because you can tornado her Zenith Blade. And then also Lucian can dodge most of the skill shots Leona throws out. So it'll be interesting to see how Who Cares plays around that with her composition. BM. Taiyi looking to lock in Orianna Malphite. Oh my goodness. Who Cares making a statement if they do decide to lock those picks in. And that is, we are going to go absolutely ham in the cam and win this game with incredible team fights. I would like to see that composition just because Who Cares is very exceptional at team fighting in general. And that wombo combo right there is probably one of the strongest we've seen in the season so far. A little bit of time left, but that's probably going to be it. Curious to see if Taiyi's going to remain with Ignite as the summoner spell. That is very aggressive, and occasionally you'll see Orianna's go a little bit more defensive, either heal or barrier. But Who Cares will lock that in, meaning the wombo combo is absolutely going to be for real right now. Pantheon as a jungler still open, though, and provide basically what Who Cares are looking for. I actually am not sure if Latte plays that at all, but Shawnee Boy hovering over Maokai. We've seen Imperfection play that a lot more. Barium is a substitute jungler in this game for No Life Gamers. Unfortunate that he wasn't able to play, but it's very, very important that Barium manages to fit the style of Imperfection's jungling. And that style is, he plays Maokai a lot and provides this sort of heavy tank for his team. And it looks like actually they're going to give Shawnee Boy that role this game and bury him on Jin Zhao. That new Skirmisher Saber allows attack speed steroid champions to do very, very well with their ganks, as they do have that on-hit damage, so that Jin Zhao is definitely a strong jungle choice, and he will lock it in. Tanoya actually running Smite right now, so he might be jungling with that Malphite. Not entirely sure if that's actually going to be the case, but who cares? Sticking with their composition of having an incredible team fight, Jinx would absolutely provide that AoE damage with her Super Mega Death Rocket, as well as those rockets providing AoE on hit and on surrounding champions. And there we go. I was talking about the Pantheon. This would be a absolutely phenomenal choice and would just round up the team composition of Who Cares so well. Their team fights would basically be nigh impossible to lose as. We'll see if they lock it in. We'll see what Shockwave decides to lock in, as he is that mid laner, has the last pick open for himself. In a lot of these games, he's the one who seems to call, or it seems to me that he calls most of the shots. And to be completely fair, he doesn't lose, or he doesn't win lane very often, but he sort of goes even. And then No Life Gamers have done a very good job fighting and rotating together with those Korean level rotations. But at this point, No Life Gamers really isn't going to have that option. Who Cares is saying our team fight is going to be so strong, we're going to force you to play around it and basically give you no chance to win the 5v5. And Shockwave answer to that is going to be Ahri, as he does lock that in. Pretty good answer, as basically it's going to be a sort of pick composition against a team fight composition. Not to say that No Life Gamers team fight isn't bad, it's not bad in the slightest. I just realized I totally forgot to put the overlay up. Oh, there you go, UVA shoutouts. But it definitely pales into comparison against Who Cares, with the AoE coming out of Orianna, Malphite, Leona, Pantheon, and Jinx. So we'll give it a couple of minutes, guys, as we do load into the Rift. I generally take a break, as there's a little bit of delay to catch up on, but I will see you guys in a few minutes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is week 9 of the UVA LCS, and we have loaded into Summoner's Rift.
Seconds until minions spawn.
So with the changes to the jungle in the 420 patch, there's a lot of different strategies being developed. I would have liked to see some sort of early cheese or invade, but it looks like both teams going to be fairly safe. Barium looking to start blue. Normally you'll see purple side teams start Grom, since it does provide that protection, right? It's either the... I think it's the Krugs that provide the stun on every 5th hit. But it looks like he will go blue first. He has Botox, Droidjukin, and Shockwave to help him start it out, so he should be fine. Oh no, he actually does go for Gromp, as Latte will go for that Krug. Oh, he gets the poison now, so anytime any jungle monster attacks him, takes poison damage. So in the top lane, not much to talk about. Both Tanoia and Shawnee Boy on very CC heavy, resistant, tanky top laners, so I doubt we'll see much action there. But this bot lane is going to be very interesting. If Amazing 12 can land those skill shots, they can absolutely snowball this lane into lead. Jinx is a very, very strong late game hyper carry, and Droidjukin and Botox are not going to want to give Woolly Mammoth and Amazing 12 an inch in this lane. Otherwise, it's going to be very bad with all the crowd control coming out of Who Cares' team composition. For now, letting the wave push against them slightly. Just about even in CS. Both AD carries doing a good job to hit every minion in the wave. That's something you always like to see is perfect last hitting. In the mid lane, however, Tai missing a couple of his last hits. Wave is pushing into him, so there's still a little bit more to farm up. But Shockwave doing a good job of pushing that in and forcing Tai to spend a little bit of mana to get those last hits. So, as I mentioned before, there's a lot to talk about with this new jungle. Pantheon can do some crazy plays on Dragon. He could do... I saw a level 3 Dragon. Oh, speaking of which... and I'm not sure if NLG knows that. If No Life Gamers don't have the vision control of it and let Latte do this Dragon, which it seems like at this point they just might allow, Who Cares is going to have a huge advantage with that early 8% boost on their ability power and attack damage. Uses that sweeper to sweep it out and starts the Dragon, but we actually see Barium is going to check. No, he just wards it. And Pantheon should have no problem soloing this Dragon. Uh-oh. Barium is actually going to meet lots of about half HP at this point. It's the Smite War. Who gets the Smite off? And first blood goes over to Xin Zhao. Barium actually picks up the Dragon as well. Very, very close, but what would have been a very nice play in favor of Who Cares goes horribly, horribly wrong. And No Life Gamers secure the first Dragon and the first kill of the game. Rough there. I feel like Who Cares maybe should have had a little bit more vision control into the jungle of no life gamers otherwise, or to prevent that from potentially happening. But I mean, it's not a bad call. Pantheon definitely has the potential to take that dragon, as you saw. But Barium just had a very smart sense. He knew that something was up and that Pantheon did have that potential dragon killing power, so he did go for it. Ironically, Latsu using this Dragon Slayer Pantheon skin, but no dragon kills today, as he did go down. And that 8% boost, as I mentioned before, is only going to get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. If Who Cares is denied Dragon over and over by No Life Gamers will just continuously snowball this lead into their advantage. At this point, since the Dragon doesn't give global gold, and the boost isn't incredibly significant early game since it's multiplicative, it gets stronger as you go on. It's not a huge deal, but it's definitely something Who Cares needs to be careful of. Other than that, the lanes have gone relatively even. It's a very close game still, other than that first blood, of course. With every lane being more or less full HP, we just saw Shiny Boy in the top lane recall, as well as Shockwave, but now that we're getting ultimates on both sides of the map, we might see some ganks and plays coming in. Lotta is so far behind, though. He's level 3 on the Pantheon, might get level 4 from this jungle camp, and it looks like he will. But he's nowhere near that Grand Skyfall man drop that Pantheon is so good for, using that ultimate to go nearly across the entire map and ganking unsuspecting enemies. Looks like Who Cares don't need the Grand Skyfall to gank. The Lotta trying to make a gank happen, but he walked over Ward before, if I'm not mistaken. Botox and Georgiukin don't know he's there now, but they get a sense of that, and it seems like Who Cares doesn't want to waste time. Send Lotta back. Tell him to go farm up a little bit more. As Barium might try to gank this top lane. Tanoia has a ward there, so he could spot him out. He's going to be incredibly tanky, but the engage is there. Barium cannot get the knockup, and Tanoia immediately ults away. That unstoppable force cooldown is pretty dang long early game, 120 seconds. Barium, very nice to pick up the ward as well. So definitely a worth gank there, forcing out the summoner spell from Tanoia. Or the ultimate, I should say. Shockwave is trying to roam in the mid lane. We just saw the ping from Orianna, though, that someone is missing. And Who Cares playing very defensively. Woolly Mammoth knows something's up, so that will be an unsuccessful roam, and it gives Taiji time to push the wave in. Barium giving blue over to Shockwave, and I'm actually impressed. Shockwave's had a very, very nice lane this game. I mean, with no disrespect, but he tends to lose against some of the better mid laners we have in the UV LCS, and then comes back through excellent roams and team fights. And especially against a strong bully like Orianna, going basically even in that lane is very, very nice. Other than that one play of Dragon, that was so far very slow game. Zenith played missing there, and Lucian using Relentless Pursuit to get out. Shiny Boy and Tanoia are trading in the top lane, but they are top laners. That's more or less insignificant. Latsa is still level 5 as, Zenith Blade onto Georgiukin. Georgiukin gets stunned out. Amazing 12 taking a lot of poke damage. Woolly Mammoth hasn't propped the Leona passive yet. It looks like Georgiukin and Botox might try to turn this around. Woolly Mammoth and Amazing 12 taken very, very low. And that was off of Amazing 12's decision to engage there. Latte clearing out a ward, trying to start the Scuttle Crab, but it is just too tanky. Dragon is going to be up in about 30-40 seconds, so I'm curious to see if Barium's going to try and do that solo. But Who Cares, knowing this, decides to take the Scuttle Crab, and he will... Oh, there you go. Does pick that up and might try to gank the spot lane. There are no wards up for Jorjukin, and Jorjukin is actually out of mana. So Botox is level 6 though, and it's incredibly hard to engage on Ajana. That's the one thing they have for their composition. They have a lot of peel in the form of Maokai, Xin Zhao, and Janna, so they can disengage whenever Who Cares decide to fight. And Shiny Boy engaged onto Tanoia, both taken low, but technically 1/3 HP for a tank like Maokai Malphite, really not a big deal. Sort of a wet noodle find the top lane. Shiny Boy actually with effectively less HP than Tanoia and Barium. They spot that pink ward out, so very nice vision control. No Life Gamers realizing that they need to make sure that their bot lane is warded, and the ping onto another pink ward. Interestingly enough, Barium is actually level 5 still. He has recalled quite a bit this game, so he's not going to have his ultimate up, whereas Lotz's ultimate is up. So if a fight were to start right now, it might go in favor of Who Cares. But unfortunately for us, nothing much happening so far. 12 minutes in, just one kill, 400 to 500 gold lead. And actually, as soon as I say that, the Pantheon man drop into the Dragon Pit, but he gets caught out now. Amazing 12 trying to save him. Exhaust goes down. Lots of heal as well, but he's taking so low. Can he get away? The engage onto Woolly Mammoth. Woolly Mammoth gets popped up, and Lotsa gets slain by Droid. So far, this fight has gone completely in No Life Gamer's favor, and they might be looking for more. Shawnee Boy's teleport was just a little bit faster than Tanoi's, and it let them fight that in a favorable position 4v5. And Lotsa was taken down from dragon damage before. Barium now needs to be careful. This dragon does a lot of damage, and Tai might try to do something. Oh my goodness. Close there, but dragon does go over to Shockwave 3, and No Life Gamers have 3 kills in the lead, as well as that dragon puts them just over 1,500 gold. I mentioned before, Lhasa is such a carry for Who Cares. He really ends up being fed in a lot of his games, and these Pantheon plays that he's tried to make just have not had the vision control that Who Cares needed to make them successful. He's now 0-2 and 0 on that Pantheon. Wasted his summoners to try and get out of that fight. Woolly Mammoth actually still has his flash available, so if another team fight breaks out, that's very good that he still has that summoner up. But it begs the question, will Who Cares try to keep making these plays? Every time they do, they get reacted on so perfectly by No Life Gamers. They might just need to play calm a little bit and let themselves scale a little bit harder into the late game, as their team scales so well with that team fighting composition. In the top lane, actually, Barium trying to make a sneaky play. Tanoia has his ultimate and flash available. It's going to be very, very hard to get a gank in. But we might see Barium just engage, switch an advantage from Maokai, and the knockup. Tanoia... No, before the knockup manages to connect, Tanoia once again just uses that unstoppable force to get out of lane. But this means a pink ward over to No Life Gamers and more pressure in the top lane denied. And now I think a nice bit of damage there from the Lucian Q. And the engage onto Jorjukin. Jorjukin gets stunned up, but Woolly Mammoth not able to proc that Leona passive once again. This means Amazing 12, and Woolly Mammoth actually got worse off in that trade. Woolly Mammoth flashed away, but still goes down. The engage coming in, the Mantheon ult coming in. Droid with a swag culling, and it manages to actually work in their favor. Lhasa has not near enough damage that Who Cares needs to turn this around, and the essentially 2.5 situation, since Woolly Mammoth went down before the Pantheon ultimate came in, is totally in favor of No Life Gamers. They are 2,000 gold ahead, but they might as well be 100,000 gold ahead. They have absolutely played this game perfectly so far. Now Pantheon in this bot lane has double buffs available, so he's going to do a decent job of clearing those minions out. But when Lucian goes to recall, he is sitting on that Infinity Edge already. Jinx hasn't completed that yet. Just has a pickaxe and a BF sword right now. But he has over 1,000 gold to go back and buy with. He is sitting at a 1,500 gold lead after 15 minutes. That is very, very impressive. And him and Botox have consistently done so well as a bot lane. Remember, guys, if NLG wins this game, they are not guaranteed a playoff spot unless Who Cares loses against Bare Naked Laners. If Bare Naked Laners does manage to beat Who Cares, then they are. Or if a couple of other teams don't win majority of their games, since there's a 4-way tie for first place right now at 10-6, and that includes Who Cares sitting at 10-6. Shawnee Boy getting engaged on Latte is going to jump, but I don't know if there's going to be a damage right now. Shawnee Boy pops his ultimate, does not have flash available. There is enough damage. Latte will pick up that kill. Finally, a gank for him does go well. Who Cares desperately needed that gold. Yeah, but No Life Gamers or Who Cares needs, if they lose this game, they can still make playoffs, but they'll force a tie against No Life Gamers if they beat Who Cares, or if they beat Bare Naked Laners. Tanoia gonna take a little bit of damage there. Barium did use his ultimate just to keep the tower alive, though. Since there are 4 teams that are 10-6 and also 2 teams that are 9-7, and No Life Gamers is one of those teams, the other team being Strat Stars. So this week, I mean, it's really come down to the wire. Only 4 teams will make the playoffs, and 6 teams are still very, very competitive for it. It's pretty intense. Leona with the engage onto Botox. Pantheon will come in. He actually dodges out the ult from Amazing 12. George even going to take so low. Flashes away, but gets shut down because he wasn't actually healed by Botox. Now Barium trying to make a gank happen, and the teleport coming in as well. I'm not sure if No Life Gamers is going to be able to force this out, and it seems like they won't. But Latte doing a lot of work now with that ultimate engaged onto George Yukin and knew that he didn't have heal, so they managed to kill him before Janna was able to peel for them. Nice stuff. Who Cares? But this means that the turret is going to be undefended simply because they were taken so low. So first turret of the game will go over to No Life Gamers. A kill in favor of turret. Actually worth for Who Cares since they do manage to pick up top turret as well. Gold lead just sitting around 1,000 gold right now. Dragon up in about 10 seconds. And actually, Tai might get caught out here. Flashes away, but gets hit up by the Maokai. And yes, he will go down. Shawnee Boy picks up his first kill of the game while still stacking that Rod of Ages up. That Maokai is going to become such a threatening tank in the late game. And this could potentially be a 3rd Dragon at 19 minutes for No Life Gamers. Dragon's flight buff, the 3rd buff, is absolutely huge. And ever since that first Dragon went in favor of No Life Gamers, they have had complete control of the Dragon. Dang, that is really, really rough for Who Cares. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's their entire comp is built around fighting and the Wamba combo that the team fight provides, while No Life Gamers would be trying to fight with that disengage that they have from Janna and from Zinzao. Now with that 5% movements buff, as well as Janna's passive whenever team fights do occur, it's going to be so hard for Who Cares to fight and engage favorably. So as we pass the 20-minute mark, just over 1,000 gold lead for No Life Gamers, but having all three of those dragon buffs is a lot of effective combat stats that really isn't mentioned as gold now in League of Legends. The dragon doesn't provide gold anymore, but provides phenomenal teamfight buffs at 8%. Ability power and attack damage is only going to get better. The ability to clear waves as well is also very, very useful. Minions and monsters being taken down by that Dragon's Wrath, I believe it's called. Dragon's Dominance, 15% extra damage to minions and monsters. And that actually is going to be very, very good for No Life Gamers as they exit the lane phase and potentially try to take an early Baron. They have a lot of killing power since Xin Zhao has finished his... actually went for Stalker's Blade, if I'm not mistaken. Stalker's Blade Warrior. So the damage attachment, actually, Shawnee Boy gets engaged, has to pop his ultimate, going to be taking less damage than before, gets the knock-up and might just be able to get away. Ultimate coming out of Tanoya, and another slow from the red buff. Lotte, can they get the kill? Shawnee Boy's going to be taken so low, and yes, he does go down. Barium does not get there in time. Shawnee Boy did not have his ult or his flash available, and the CC coming out of Who Cares, his top lane and jungler is just too strong. Actually, in the bot lane as well, Woolly Mammoth and Amazing 12. Jinx is so good at taking turrets if left unattended, and they will pick up the turret up. Actually put the gold lead in their favor. Relentless pursuit forward as Shockwave is going to make a gank in the bot lane. Woolly Mammoth manages to get away, and Shockwave actually just lands onto a Chomper. Going to be taken low here. Heal coming out, flashes away. Tai now gets knocked up and charmed. Will he go down? Ignite popping, and I think that will be the kill onto Tai. Shockwave, meanwhile, is in danger. Botox uses ultimate. Amazing 12 gonna get the kill. No, it goes over to Tanoya, and the Pantheon ultimate comes out as well. This fight has been absolutely insane. Barium's gonna engage onto Tanoya. Tanoya, can he get out alive? I don't think he can. Oh my goodness, the flash, but the auto attack kills Barium just before he would have had the final kill onto Tanoya. And that fight went so well for Who Cares because Tanoya managed to teleport in the bot lane, but Shawnee Boy wasn't able to, and that numerically, they had the advantage the entire time, and they played it perfectly, picking up, if I'm not mistaken, a 3-for-1 in that fight. Now with the gold lead, even though they are behind in terms of that teamfight presence with the dragon buff, actually looking to take the third turret of the game. Yes, they do successfully do, though. 3 turrets in favor to 1 for Who Cares. Wow, that's a lot of damage from that Lucian, even though Amazing 12 is supposed to be one of the more tank-oriented roles. Barium trying to secure this crab. No, they actually go for Lotte. Very nice bait there. He gets slowed down. Culling come in. Barium, exhaust goes down too. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get out alive. And oh my goodness, the Lucian damage. Shut down onto Barium. That is going to be absolutely crucial as shutting down Lotte. Definitely shuts down Who Cares. And now No Life Gamers grouped as 5 in this mid lane might look to siege and take it down. They have a decent amount of dive, but there's also a nice amount of wave clear. Woolly Mammoth on that Jinx, and Tai on that Orianna. So we'll have to see what the call is. No Life Gamers looking like they're going to peel off as Shawnee Boy does go to the top lane, and Barium's going to have a nice time farming this juicy large wave in the bot. Amazing 12 and Lot might get caught out here. Amazing 12 gets charmed, but Shockwave decides to go for the damage on the Lot. The fight, Shawnee Boy has teleport now, so teleport advantage in favor of No Life Gamers. No Life Gamers are going to definitely win this fight. It just is a matter of how many kills they can pick up. They pick up 2 so far. Lot is going to get CC down, and yes, he will go down. Not before doing a ton of damage, though. Actually, he managed to stay alive somehow. 2 kills so far in favor of Oh my goodness, in favor of Who Cares, he managed to turn the fight around, picking up 4 kills for 2. What an insane play from Lotsa on the Pantheon. Manages to get the stun and also using his Heartseeker Strike to do a ton of damage and getting those critical hits off. No Life Gamers had the favorable engage, but they still lost it, and the first dragon of the game will go over to Who Cares. So Who Cares have absolutely been making the comeback in this game, and if you're No Life Gamers now, what are you asking yourself? You're telling yourself that the engages they've been choosing haven't been the most favorable. They should probably wait for Who Cares to be forced and show their hand, try to get a wombo combo off, but do it improperly just by peeling them off with like the John ultimate or the ultimate out of Xin Zhao. And if they can do that, they can fight and win. However, every time they've engaged, the fights have gone in Who Cares' favor, so they're probably going to want to resist doing that in the future. Oh man, Baron gonna get caught out. Lots of no mana though. Baron immediately forced to use ultimate. Tanoia has a 3-man Malphite ultimate, and Who Cares looking absolutely in form right now as they don't even need a Wabacom to win a fight. 1 kill over to Woolly Mammoth, now on a killing spree. And that wasn't even the Janna getting caught out. That was the Xin Zhao, who's more or less kind of tanky for compared to the other members of No Life Gamers team, and they managed to get the engage. Just all the engage is so threatening. The Pantheon ultimate man drop coming in, forcing No Life Gamers to peel off his dragon. They're actually going to take turret hits. It looks like No Life Gamers are going to try to engage. Amazing 12 going to be taking low, but Orianna ultimate still alive. Droid Dukin still managing to fight and kite back. Shawnee Boy will go down. Droid Dukin still alive, though. Will he go down? No, it seems like he will get away. Tanoia now getting hit by that laser does die. 2 for 2 actually when all is said and done. For No Life Gamers, they definitely got the better off in the fight, but they lost another turret, which is definitely not good for them. That global goal is going to be absolutely huge, and it's just going to get worse as Who Cares manages to pick up more dragons. 3,000 gold ahead now. Who Cares with a solid momentum in this game. Botox walking over Ward, needs to be careful. And No Life Gamers effectively threw any lead they had. As I mentioned, the momentum right now heavily in favor of Who Cares. They've looked absolutely dominant in the last 10 minutes, just playing so ham, going incredibly aggressive, even under turrets, and still managing to make it work. Barium's going to meet Lotta in this mid lane. It is a 3-on-1, but Tai, Woolly Mammoth, and Amazing 12 are all coming back from behind. Lotta going to flash away. Barium gets hooked by or caught by the choppers. Botox now going to be taking solo. does go down and gives Woolly Mammoth the reset. But Amazing 12 and Lotsa too low to keep fighting. That was close, but who cares? Still manages to come ahead with 1 kill. Oh, Lotsa out of war, though. It's going to get charmed up. Does go down 1 for 1, I should say. A little bit of, not enough caution there from who cares, as their jungler does go down. But that trade, more or less insignificant. There's no objectives either team can take from that. But it's probably good for No Life Gamers to know that they still can win fights if they play them successfully. Ooh, Charm missing there, and Tai does a lot of damage now. That Orianna, Rabadon's Death Cap, and Athene's and Holy Grail finished. Only going to get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. It looks like Amazing 12 going to try and make something happen here. Pantheon comes in, Shockwave gets stunned up, does not have Spirit Rush or Flash, will go down. Bury him now, gets exhausted. Amazing 12 might look to engage, no, but that is 2 kills for who cares for nothing, and right before Dragon spawns. Very bad for No Life Gamers. No Life Gamers had a gold lead and the 3 dragon buffs, but at this point they're 5,000 gold behind, and the dragon buffs are starting to equalize. Now, who cares? Just 1 dragon buff away from being tied with 3 dragon buffs apiece, and that is very, very bad for No Life Gamers. Their team composition isn't necessarily the worst late game, but the team fight and late game potential of champions such as Jinx and Orianna and Malphite are just going to be absolutely disgusting when they fight 5v5. No Life Gamers need to find an avenue where they can get back in this game, and I'm just not sure what that's going to be. Right now, Shawnee Boy going back to the top lane. They have pick potential in that Xin Zhao and Ahri pickup, so that might just be what they need to do. A turret goes down in favor of, actually, No Life Gamers, so they pick up a little bit of global gold from the mid lane turret going down, but full control over to who cares. They clear out the vision around Dragon, and it's not up for 4 or 5 minutes, but just to keep that vision up there for the entirety of the game, who cares, looking very, very strong. Ooh, Pantheon going in the top lane, but Shawnee Boy just casually swag walks away. That's very good for No Life Gamers, though. Let's see what they can do with it. Pantheon Ultimate has been very, very successful so far, and it being down, it has a pretty long cooldown. It's around 100 seconds. Actually, 90 seconds at this point at level 16. Wow, I just realized that we're near the end phase of the game. 35 minutes in. It's not as if there hasn't been any kills, but the pace of the game has seemed fairly slow. 2 turrets down in favor of No Life Gamers, only 4 turrets down in favor of Who Cares. Both teams definitely taking their time, even though Who Cares has been winning these fights. As the game gets later and later, the gold difference is not very significant. At this point, though, 5,500 gold is still pretty big. But if No Life Gamers manages to stall, using that super mega death rocket there, Who Cares? Just want to see if No Life Gamers were doing Baron, but they weren't. Yeah, if No Life Gamers can stall till all of their members get 6 items, then honestly the game is relatively even. The only thing that matters at that point is how their team fights and their composition. And as I mentioned before, Who Cares has the better late game team composition, but anything can really happen once all 5 champions get to that 6 item threshold. Who Cares looking to push this mid lane, a Woolly Mammoth and Amazing 12. Wow, the damage coming out of Shockwave 3 with that turret laser brings Woolly Mammoth down to less than half HP. Going to have to lifesteal off of whatever jungle camps are available, and unfortunately for him, there are none. So this might be what No Life Gamers is looking for. If they can get a catch onto Woolly Mammoth, that would be absolutely huge for their team. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Pantheon getting spotted out. Latte maybe trying to split push? No, he's just going to steal that Grom. Teleport forced out of Maokai, though. So Shawnee Boy's teleport is down. Advantage right now in favor of Who Cares. But I'm not sure if they're going to want to have Tanoia split push. They've been having a lot of success just team fighting and getting catches. Shockwave has to flash away and use his ultimate to get out. Barium engaged onto Amazing 12, but it's not the engage they were looking for. Lots meanwhile is totally caught in position, but still manages to stay alive, and the engage coming out of Who Cares right now is just too strong. Tally on a killing spree. Shockwave will go down. Amazing 12 looking for more. Gets the stun onto Botox. Botox sure to fall now as he just uses ultimate and his flash. Yes, double kill so far for Tai. 3 for 0 for Who Cares, and even though Lotte looked like he was in a bad position, he baited No Life Gamers into an incredibly poor fight. And a 4 for 2 now at the turret. They're actually feeling confident enough to dive right now. Shawnee Boy pops ultimate, not going to take too much damage, but Woolly Mammoth just hammering down on that turret. Tai taking a little bit of damage from the laser, and they might actually get the kill. Shawnee Boy has to flash away, get slowed, but he will be safe. This does mean turret will go down as well as inhibitor, and Who Cares might even look for Baron. "37 minutes in now, 19 kills to 13. Gold lead, 7,000 gold in favor of Who Cares. They are rotating towards this Baron buff, and they'll take it pretty quickly, but they're doing it on top of a war. This could be absolutely dangerous if Barry manages to get there in time. I'm not quite sure. He's running as fast as he can, but no, blue team will secure the Baron there. Woolly Mammoth actually secures it. Lots has missed a number of his fights today, but it, luckily for him, hasn't been too bad. They pick up that Baron buff and 420 patch. That just means that their siege potential will be that much stronger. Remember, guys, No Life Gamers are 10-7 right now, and they need to win this game in order to secure, or more or less, control their own destiny in the playoffs. If they lose this game, the only way they somehow force a tiebreaker in the playoffs is if the other top 3 teams, Dictatorship's Winions, Black Turtles, and Baronade Laners, all remain at a 10 and 8 win-to-loss ratio. And all of them have 10 wins already, so that's going to be incredibly, incredibly unlikely. Shockwave getting caught out. Lands his charm onto Woolly Mammoth. Woolly Mammoth going to be taking a lot of damage. Culling comes out of Droid Jukin as well, but that's probably going to be the loss of Dragon in favor of Who Cares. Pick up the 3rd Dragon buff of the game. That gives them that Dragon's fight movement speed boost. 5% across the entire team will make their engage so much stronger. They have that Baron recall, so they're just going to go back, finish their item builds, buy some of the last items. Sato is sitting on 2,000 gold. Woolly Mammoth is sitting on 2,500 gold. So I'm sure we'll see him recall, and yes, we do. But that new Baron buff reduces their recall time in half. And I'm assuming we're just going to see a group out of Who Cares either in this top lane or this bot lane try and force a fight and then win the game. Oh man, that Baron Duff Super Minion looks so fierce. Yeah, as what I was talking about before, No Life Gamers, if they lose this game, it is very unlikely they make playoffs. So this is do or die at this point. They're 9,000 gold behind. That's a lot, but it's not impossible if they can get a favorable fight and skirmishes. And it looks like they're going to try and fight under their turret. Shawnee Boy has a really nice Maokai ultimate, going to be taking a lot of damage. And engage onto Woolly Mammoth from Barrier, but the peel coming in, the Malphite ultimate hits 3 members of No Life Gamers, and Who Cares is looking to come away with his fight, but Woolly Mammoth gets a double kill with 1 auto attack on that Jinx. Lotte gets a kill onto Barium. 3 for 0 right now. Who Cares might be looking for more. Now, it looks like they're just going to go for this dragon, or for this turret, I should say. Droid Jukin and Shockwave, I don't think they have the wave clear that their team needs to stay alive here. This is going to be an inhibitor turret going down with the inhibitor sure to follow, and Who Cares might just feel comfortable to end the game right here and right now. 12,000 gold ahead after 40 minutes. Woolly Mammoth, that cannon minion actually isn't taking it since it can attack outside of the range of the turrets. But with over 10 seconds on Barium and Shawnee Boy, I'm just not sure if No Life Gamers can win this game. Droid Jukin going to get stunned up, and the 2-man ultimate coming out of Amazing 12. Tai's going to flash in for Droid Jukin. He heals himself, so he does manage to stay alive. Shawnee Boy's about to recall, but now they're just saying, hit the Nexus, hit the Nexus. Locks it with the Swag Pantheon man drop. They're going to try and get the ace before they end the game, and they are unsuccessful. But 40 minutes in, who cares, with a very nice comeback and convincing victory over No Life Gamers, secure themselves a spot in the playoffs. Just kidding. They actually